Hi everyone, I'm Chef Susie with Escoffier Online, and in today's live session we're going to be exploring making marshmallows on your own. It's a nice homemade treat. It's a nice complement to so many desserts. You can flavor these marshmallows with so many different flavors, but today we're going to be showing the technique. This way you can use this basic marshmallow recipe, or you can explore different recipes on your own knowing this technique. And what's super neat is it's just a few ingredients, just some gelatin and water, some sugar, some cornstarch, and a little bit of water boiled to the hard ball stage. And we're going to whip it on the machine, and it's going to make our yummy, fluffy, sticky marshmallow that we all love. So knowing that, let's get started. So I've got some gelatin powder, and I'm using gelatin powder because it's more readily available. You can use the leaves if you like, and I'm just going to be putting this right in my mixing bowl, and then I'm going to be adding my cold water. I'm just sprinkling this over the gelatin, and then I'm going to leave this sit. And this is just softening the gelatin. It's not dissolved until it's introduced to something warm. Always remember that we're just softening this. Okay, so in the meantime, I've started the sugar and the corn syrup and the water on the stove on a medium-low burner, and it takes about maybe 10 minutes roughly to come up to 250 degrees, and that's the hard ball stage. But don't walk away from your sugar mixtures when they're on the stove, because you can easily burn them. So let's go over to the stove. So this looks like it's just about ready. So I've got my sugar mixture. So I started ahead of time so we wouldn't have to wait for it to boil. And I'm going to be taking the temperature. And we want this to be, like I said, the hard ball stage, 250 degrees. And these thermometers work perfect, and the digital ones work great too. And what's nice about the digital thermometers is a lot of them have a timer on it, so you can set it for maybe a time like 240 degrees, and it'll alert you that you're getting closer. So we're going to go ahead and fire up our heat a little bit here. I kind of turned it off because I thought it was getting super close, but it just needs a little bit more time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this hot mixture, we're going to pour it over our softened gelatin, and then that's when the whipping begins. So we're going to go ahead and give it a stir. And if you see some crystals forming around the side of your pot, you can have a brush handy with a little bit of water, and then you're just going to wash down the sides. I'm not having any problems today, so I'm just kind of going around the sides with my rubber spatula. But if you see some crystallization, go ahead and wash down the sides, and you can catch that early. And also, another common problem is the whole mixture seizing up. And that means there was something in your pot, or there was something in your flour or in the container that you used for the water. So be mindful of that. Everything needs to be clean, because just like maybe if you got like a little bit of flour in your sugar, that'll cause this mixture to seize and completely crystallize, and you're going to have to make it again. So take the time to make sure that you're following the steps to have everything clean. So our mixture has reached 250 degrees. So I'm going to turn off the flame. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this right into the bowl where we have the softened gelatin. And it's going to bubble up a little bit. No worries. And then we're going to be putting this on our stand mixer with the whisk attachment. And we're going to be mixing it on high. For about 1 minute until all of these ingredients are well incorporated. also do this with a hand mixer, but the stand mixers are ideal for doing this. And as you can see, it's just in a liquid form, and it's going to take some marshmallow shape. Once it starts whisking and you get some air in there, it's going to turn lighter in color. We're going to turn it up a little bit higher. What we're doing right now is we're making sure that the gelatin is completely mixed in with the sugar mixture. And the whole process is going to take about 10 minutes to get this well aerated. Then we have a question. We have a question on marshmallow fondant. If you can use this recipe, there are particular recipes for making marshmallow fondant, which is a rollable, pliable mixture, and it's just probably a little bit different than this, but it's very popular, very good tasting. So now we're going to be adding a little bit of salt. And at this point, we're going to be adding our flavoring. I have a little bit of vanilla, and you can use various different kinds of extracts. You can use banana, super popular, or you can use maybe some lemon or even some rum extract. And keep in mind that you can flavor these marshmallows too. So I'm just making this one a simple vanilla flavor, but you can add a variety of flavors and colors to the mixture. So we're going to leave this mix on high for about 10 to 12 minutes, and it's going to take its marshmallow shape. So while this is mixing, do we have any questions? And I also wanted to mention too about our upcoming contest that we have going on in this month, the month of June, until the 30th of June. We're going to be giving you an entry into a raffle for every 10% of progress that you do in the program. And the progress includes your reading along with your checkpoints and also your quizzes, and it also includes your assignments too. Our last contest was just about assignments, and this one is about your overall progress. And for every 10% of progress, you get an entry into the raffle. And for winners that are chosen, we're going to just pick them randomly. We'll get a $100 gift certificate to use in our new online store. There's some nice things. There's some chef coats and some hoodies and t-shirts and hats and aprons, and you'll be sure to love it. So while our mixture is working on its own on the mixer, I made some marshmallows earlier, so let's take a look at them. So I made these marshmallows last evening, and they need about 3 hours to set. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to pour your mixture into a buttered pan, or you can spray it with some pan spray, but you've got to put something on this foil that you've lined the pan with so it doesn't stick. And then I've dusted it with powdered sugar, and then I inverted another tray over it to protect it so it was covered, and then I wrapped the whole thing in plastic. But before I covered it with the second pan, I made sure it was completely cool. I let it cool for about an hour. And if you're in a warmer climate, you may want to try adding just a little bit of cornstarch to your powdered sugar mixture if you're seeing any problem with any melting along the way. And what's super nice about these marshmallows is you can cut them into different shapes and sizes, and you can do so many things with them. You can use them as garnishes for desserts. You can dip them in chocolates and nuts. You can put them on sticks. So try these techniques that I'm showing you today. You'll love working with marshmallows, and try some different flavors and colors too. You're going to have a lot of fun with these. So our marshmallow mixture is just about ready. And keep in mind, this is going to be a little bit sticky when you're working with it. Sometimes it's hard to get away from the stickiness of marshmallow. So do we have any questions on our marshmallows today? Okay, so our marshmallow is just about ready. And another super fun thing that you can do with these is you can make s'more desserts. And the marshmallow, since it's so pliable and loose because it's not set up yet, you can put it in a pastry bag, you can pipe it onto a chocolate cupcake, you can brown it with your torch, and then you can sprinkle some graham cracker crumbs on top. So that's a cute idea for a s'mores cupcake. And you can even put a little chocolate Hershey's candy on the top. And we have a question.
That type of burner, could you bring the temperature up faster by getting the zero option? Or is it better to use more of a conventional one to bring the mixture up to the correct temperature?
The question is bringing the mixture up to the correct temperature. I would say use the conventional method. Stick on a medium-low heat. Ours is a number, it has 1 through 10, and I had the number on number 4. And if you're using an electric stove, just 1 notch below medium. And on your gas range, just a medium flame. You don't want to have too high of a flame or the heat to be too hot because it can get away from you. It can even scorch a little bit. So stay on a little bit medium-low for that. So our marshmallow mixture is ready, so we're going to go ahead and put it in our pan. So I've got a pan that I buttered earlier, and like I said, if you don't want to use butter, use some pan spray or even some oil, but you've got to get something on here so this doesn't stick because this is really sticky. And you'll see once I start taking it out. So this is our marshmallow mixture. It's nice and fluffy, sticky, and gooey. So it's very loose now. And it's going to set up, and the gelatin and the sugars are going to help this set, and it's going to be super nice, and you'll be able to cut it so easily. So you just pour your marshmallow mixture in here, and since it's kind of sticky, it is a little hard to get it really smooth, so no worries. The bottom side, if you're looking for something smooth, you'll have some smoothness on the bottom side. So it's very strandy. Just take your time. No worries. If you get a little bit on you, it's going to wash right off. So do we have any questions on the marshmallow mixture? Has anyone been making marshmallows so far, or is this maybe your first time? I wanted to show you this technique because sometimes people say, marshmallows, how can you make those? So you can see it's so easy. So we're just going to spread this mixture in the pan. Gonna let it cool, like I said. We're gonna invert another pan. Over the top to cover it once it's cooled. And it's gonna be sprinkled with powdered sugar. And these are our marshmallows that are ready to be set up and cut in about 3 hours, or you can leave them sit overnight. So let's go back to the pan that I made last night. Okay, we're going to go ahead and cut our marshmallows. I've got my cutting board here. And we're just going to carefully invert these marshmallows, and we're going to peel off the foil. And since I've greased the foil, it's going to come off real easy like this. And we have another question.
When is the right time to add color?
The question is, when is the right time to add color? I would add it with your flavoring. When I added the vanilla, I think that's a really good time. Be careful not to make it too strong. Just add a little bit at a time. And as you can see, our marshmallows came off so easily because this was greased. We're going to go ahead and dust this again with some powdered sugar. so we don't have any sticking, and then we're ready to cut the marshmallows. And you can cut these in any shape or size. I'm just going to be cutting some squares today, and I'm going to go ahead and invert this, and I'm going to be cutting this side. So I've got a knife that I have in some warm water. You're going to want to make sure that your knife is really clean when you're doing this. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of stickiness. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to trim off my end. And like I said, this can be really sticky, so just take your time. And this is our marshmallow, and it's a nice clean cut. So have some fun with your marshmallows. And maybe if someone has some ideas of what they might do with their marshmallow, I would love to hear it. So we're just going to be cutting some squares. And if by chance your marshmallow is too sticky, check your ingredients for next time. You may have made a mistake, or you may not have brought it up to the proper temperature. So these are super cute. You can put a little powdered sugar on your fingers to help with some of the sticking. So we have some nice marshmallow squares, and we have another question.
Can you use silicone molds, and if so, do you still have to use butter?
The question is, can you use silicone molds? You can. You can mold your marshmallows with silicone molds. Keep in mind that mixture was a little sticky. It's going to be a little hard to get in the mold. You might want to try using a piping bag with a large plain tip, and then tap it down a little bit to get some of the air out, and maybe kind of take a spoon or a little mini spatula and kind of just work the marshmallow around in there. And I definitely recommend spraying or oiling or buttering the molds before you do the marshmallows in silicone mold. And depending on your mold, you can try doing one without greasing the mold and see if it comes out for you. We have another question.
Can you repeat the ingredients again, please?
Sure. Someone asked if we can repeat the ingredients. I just had the gelatin with the cold water, which I softened in the bowl in the beginning. And I had some sugar, some corn syrup, and some water boiling on the stove to 350 degrees. I added a little bit of salt and a little bit of vanilla for flavor. And you can add any flavor that you like or any coloring that you like too. So let's do a little plate up with our marshmallows. What do you think? So we're going to do maybe a little s'mores chocolate cake dessert. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way. And what's nice about these marshmallows is you can brown them up a little bit too if you like, if you want to make a s'mores dessert. So I've got a plate ready. And sometimes what I do is I'll take a little bit of the marshmallow mixture and I'll put it on the plate. So I've got just a little bit of the mixture that we made just a couple of minutes ago. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of spread this on the plate for something a little fun. So kind of play around with these things and have a good time with them. And what's nice is very sticky. So we can go ahead and put some graham cracker on here. And it's going to stick to the marshmallow, and then we'll have a really nice presentation on our plate. So I just took some graham cracker earlier, and I added just a little bit of butter to it. And now I'm just going to shake it around. And I'm going to shake it off the plate. So we have a little bit of graham cracker on our marshmallow for our s'mores dessert. And I've got some chocolate cake that I made yesterday too. So we have like a nice little chocolate s'mores cake. And then we have a few of the marshmallows. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put these on a toothpick. And then we'll have a little bit of a classic s'mores dessert. So they're a little bit sticky. So just take your time. And then we're going to go ahead and brown these. And we have a question.
Can you use fruit puree instead of extract to flavor?
The question is can you use a fruit puree instead of the extracts for the flavor? You absolutely can. Just be mindful, just do a little bit at a time. And you're going to want to use something that's not too runny, maybe something that's more a little bit concentrated with some pulp in it, but I would definitely recommend trying it. So now I'm just going to take my torch, which we've been using in our creme brulee assignment, and I'm just going to brown these marshmallows that I have on top. So we're going to have a cute, fun little s'mores dessert with our homemade marshmallows. It's kind of playful and fun. It's a little on the high side, but that's kind of the beauty of it. And there we go. And this is our s'mores dessert for today, made with our fresh marshmallows. And if you don't have any questions, we're going to be saying goodbye until next week. Don't forget about the contest. Work on your progress. It's just going to get you towards your goals and your dreams. And think back of why you originally enrolled in the program. And when you're working in your progress, you'll be rewarded with your entry in the raffle. And good luck to everyone. And we have another question.
Can you please tell me if I can use this, the marshmallow cream, to make Rice Krispie treats?
The question is, can you use this marshmallow cream to make Rice Krispie treats? You absolutely can, but remember, for Rice Krispie treats, you're using marshmallow and you're adding butter or margarine to it. Don't forget that step because it's a little thick and sticky, so don't forget to add your butter as you would, but you're really going to be melting your marshmallow mixture down just as you would your marshmallows that you bought in the store. And what's nice is you're making them yourself, and you know that there aren't any preservatives in them because you've made them in your own kitchen with 5 simple ingredients. So we're going to say goodbye for today. Let me know if you have any questions on the marshmallows or on the contest too. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.